Good afternoon, everyone. Away Health presents World DiGiHealth and Wellness Forum 2024. We have our second keynote session with Ms. Urvashi Prasad, Director, Office of Vice Chairman, Niti Aayog. Welcome, ma'am.
Hi.
Hello, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
Good. Thank you.
Ma'am, I will request you to kindly go ahead with your 1 minute introduction so that our audience knows about you, and then you can take it forward.
I'm director at Niti Aayog. I'm working with the Office of the Vice Chairman currently. And I have been at Niti now for almost over 7 years, close to coming up to 8 years, working in the mostly in the health policy related areas, but also other sectors. I think, today I just wanted to, because this is a digital health summit. So I wanted to touch upon the digital health aspects. And just to say that, of course, as you would have been also discussing, and I'm sure the speakers will also talk about this, that we've seen a huge acceleration in the adoption of digital health and technology, especially in the health sector during and post-COVID. So that is definitely a momentum, that we have achieved during COVID, but we need to sustain it. That is, one big challenge which is facing all of us. Because there is a danger that, the things that we learned during COVID or the innovations that we made then, we're always in danger of, letting go of some of those learnings and then again, reinventing the wheel. So we have to all collectively try not to do that, and make sure that we build on the learnings that we had due to the COVID pandemic. Now, of course, about digital health and technology in general, I would like to, say that it is a very important means to an end, but it's not the end in itself. I think sometimes we run the risk of getting carried away with technology, with getting very excited with the new terms that we all, now live with in AI, and now there's generative AI, and there's blockchain, and there's IoT. So, it can all feel very exciting, and we can sort of get carried away. But I think it's important to remember that our ultimate goal and objective, I think, of all stakeholders in the health system is obviously to achieve affordable and quality health outcomes for the entire population. And that is really what underpins universal health coverage. So we need to see how technology can be a means to achieve that end, but it's not an end in itself. We also have to be aware of the risks and the potential downsides of technology, especially when we are dealing with it, in a sector as sensitive as health. And I especially talk in the context of health data. If we are using technology and we are using that for standardizing or aggregating, data or integrating data, it can be hugely beneficial, but we have to have the adequate privacy, security, safety protocols, ethical protocols in place, because large parts of our population are still, not at that level of literacy and education where, they might be very comfortable with this sort of advanced use of technology and their personal health data, which, as I said, is very sensitive. So I think we need to use technology, but use it responsibly. And I think we are still in that process where we're trying to put in place the standards. We're trying to, lay down the basic frameworks and guidelines, which can then be adopted and by all stakeholders. And of course, we also raise this issue of responsible, ethical technology use, AI use during our G20 presidency, because clearly this is a global issue. This is not just specific to India. and we've already started to see some cases of misuse of technology. So I think that is something that we have to be very careful about. Also, use of social media, for instance, in the health sector. I especially feel concerned that we have this, growing number of so-called influencers. And now everybody seems to have some sort of expertise on health or nutrition or lifestyle. And I think while it's good to be able to share your own experiences, your own lived experience of something, I think to start to give medical or health advice, if you're not actually qualified, is very dangerous. And we're seeing this huge trend with the social media and the influencers. Some of them have millions of followers, and they're actually putting out very unverified, sometimes even completely incorrect information. So I think there's a lot of risks, downsides, which we have to be aware of in the health context when it comes to use of technology. But clearly, the potential and the advantages are tremendous, right from improving the efficiency of the health system, so reducing the load on our medical professionals, on our health professionals. There's so many tasks in the health sector which you can automate, or you can make quicker, you can make faster. Of course, as we move towards personalized medicine, then there's huge, benefit of technology where, through artificial intelligence, you can go through somebody's entire health history, their records. You can see what sort of treatments are likely to work best for them, what is not going to work for them. So all of these can be very important aids and assistive, tools for our health professionals. And so I think that is one very important use of technology. Of course, better, faster diagnostics. And we're already seeing AI being used in a big way, whether it is to screen people for TB or for lung cancer, and many other applications are coming up. So use of technology in medical devices, in the entire pharmaceutical, clinical trials value chain. What used to take a longer amount of time, we can now achieve those results much more quickly because we can use technology. So I think huge benefits, upsides, but we must be aware of the downsides, the potential risks, and we must make sure that we use technology ethically, responsibly, with the proper standards and governance mechanisms in place. And technology is a very important means to an end, but we should never forget the end itself, which is really to achieve universal health coverage, which is to provide the best possible health outcomes to every person in our country, regardless of their location, regardless of their socioeconomic status. So I think that is something that is really what we have to ultimately keep in mind. The overall use of why we are even deploying technological tools. What is the overall purpose of that? So I'll stop here, and I wish you all the success for this summit. There's a very interesting lineup that I saw of speakers and panels, etc. So I'm sure there will be some very good insights which will be generated from today's discussion. So thank you once again for having me here.
Thank you, Ms. Prasad. It was really insightful, and thank you for sharing how technology has taken over in the medical system and how people are educating themselves through our social media platform. Very interesting to know what trending things are in the market.